So it's important to take in consideration precedent. And for the case of Loving versus Virginia, it's name versus name. So with the Loving case, the Supreme Court of Virginia upheld its decision in name versus name, in which marriage between a white woman and a Chinese man was made void. So specific language used in the Loving decision by U.S. Supreme Court addressing the state of Virginia's ruling of name versus name states that, quote, the state's legitimate purpose was to preserve racial integrity, to prevent the corruption of blood, which is obviously an endorsement of the doctrine of white supremacy, unquote. In that prevention of corruption of blood, we're reminded of Somerville's notion of tainted blood as a means to uphold the white supremacy and heteropatriarchy. So it's interesting that only a decade earlier the U.S. Supreme Court would not give name a hearing, but here they were hearing Virginia's case and ruling in Loving's favor. Excuse me, not Virginia's case, the appeal. On the slide I quoted, ready, to what did the law turn and how did it present itself so that it could uphold and invalidate itself in the same act? That's really interesting to consider. And Howard Wynett uses some terminology here, racial break, of which Loving was a part. It's officially white supremacist, and then that kind of leans into officially liberal anti-racist. So that racial break, what happened there? What was the critical point